Hey, welcome back. It's a beautiful morning out here at the river house. We're doing a bit of maintenance on the old girl. Blew a hydraulic line, and while it had field fittings on it, I decided to see if Napa could make it up. They have very limited supply, but for this thing, they can make up this thing. So I picked up a brand new hose. We'll get that put on and go up and move some dirt up above, because since I can't really work on the house, Danny thought up we could potentially work on putting in the foundation for the garage. Yeah, we could put in that. So I did the first exploratory scrape up there. Actually, let's just go look. So here's sort of the spot. Started out because I need to get the bucket truck up on that rock ledge right there, and it wasn't going to cross the swale, so I knew I had to level that out some. And I figured, well, as long as you're doing that, you might as well have an exploratory scratch, sort of see what baseline you're dealing with when it comes to forming a level for the garage right here. It's better than I thought it would be. I couldn't break where I'm standing, and I couldn't break this ledge, but I could break up down in there. So anyways, last evening I was using the loader to try to move some of this stuff, and blue line right here. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to get that fixed, and we'll get in and see if we can remove this. Then I can bring the bucket truck in and finish stuff along that edge up in there. At least that's the goal. Or I'll break it again. Or both. Well, I got a bunch of it done. I was able to pull out a lot of rock, and the idea is the garage would sit back into here. The downside is I can't get it the right angle. It wants to go that way. I've been doing my best to sort this stuff. That's an interesting pattern, isn't it? I don't know what that's called. Doing my best to sort this stuff because huge sheets are coming out, and I got enough here in theory to do all the walkways and so on and so forth. I just gotta be careful and not break it up, so I have to pull and pull and pull and sort, and the dirt goes over there, and then the round rocks go over there, and that's odd. It's a weird place to park a backhoe, don't you think? Oh, that was a definite F me moment. You know, these things are famously bad on brakes, and this one is worse than the others. And you can't drop the bucket to slow it down when she's rolling backwards down a hill. So I got her, I don't know how I got her stopped, turned off, whatnot. Whew. That was a close one. So I'm going to leave it right here and let it think about its behavior. I got a chain. I'll chain it to the excavator, and I think it'll just drive right out of there in first gear, but it's in third right now. I had to jam the forward reverser. I hope it's okay, but it's in third right now, and I'm pretty sure if I step on the clutch, she's gone. So I'm gonna pull her tight. I don't want to pull it out in gear just by pulling on the bucket. I'm sure that's a bad idea, but I'll pull it with the excavator, and then when I know she can't go backwards,
Then I can step on the clutch and start it and put it in first gear and drive up and out. But yeah, and with that seat, you can't reach around and drop an outrigger. It never would have dropped in time anyways. Is it really worth potentially rolling a backhoe with no rollover protection off the edge of a cliff to save patio rock? Or should I just crunchy that with the excavator, move on with my life? What I can tell you is it would be way better to stop and fix the dump truck than to haul this back and forth. Maybe that needs to go up on the old priorities. I'm gonna have lunch. Everything's hot. Oh wow, windy too. Well, you won't be able to hear me, but I've cleared out this. I don't know if it's enough for a whole garage, but it's bigger than I had a second ago. The backhoe just couldn't do it. It actually started to run really bad. Again, I don't know. It's got so much oil pouring down over the top of the distributor and the plugs. I don't know if they're shorting out. It's a valve cover gasket leak that's just gotten tremendous. Or maybe the valve train came loose again, so it's not opening and closing in the exploder holes all the way like it did before. So anyways, I parked it down below. I'm gonna have to pressure wash it to even get near it. So it's down there cooling off, so I can do that without cracking something. I got all this stacked up here. I pulled it up into this. I'm getting about 8 feet of rock. I don't know. I suspect once I get down over there, I could take this entire bank off and add 20 feet or more. Like I said, maybe since we can't afford materials, this is the right time to put some work in on the dump truck. I'll give Dad a call about whether we do want to try to use that one small block 400. Maybe I'll just start taking it out. I don't know. Shouldn't be too much work to take it out. It's a shame this thing sinks as much as it does. It's the backhoe is the one that doesn't actually sink. Those pistons, there's no blow by or bleed ack in those for some reason. So that'd be the better machine to take it out with. I'm sure it's either that oil. Does the oil cause them to short out? I'm sure it's either the oil or it just... When I was looking at it, the spark plugs sit in pools of oil, and I could see air bubbles. So at least 2 of the spark plugs are leaking. This is my wife. I better answer. Well, as you can see, it's a mess. It's a god-awful mess coming from somewhere. I don't know. Can that cause them to short out? I mean, it's enough. It's formed like greasy lava. And then this damn thing is leaking out of right here. Idiot me filled it up too much, so that's just gonna dribble out. I better get a pan under it. Oh. She just works so hard. There's never time to fix it. And it just keeps working hard. She needs a spa day. She needs some downtime and a pedicure. But I think we'll start with a pressure washing. Pretty. Look at the guns on these. That's after it's been pressure washed. I know I'll be curious to see if they're loose. I saw bubbles coming out of. Okay, I can tell you for a fact it wasn't clipped on the plug. The boot is too far down, so it was only hovering near the plug. That situation on one or two of them, see, damn near came out there. That situation on one or two of them would explain everything. What I really want to see is I want to see underneath this, because last time, oh gosh, you'd have to be a long time subscriber to have seen it, but the bolts that held this end of the rocker arm assembly down had broken off, and so it was lifting up and it wasn't opening and closing those pistons. So I definitely want to see that, but I bet very strongly I just found the issue. Still though, that's a lot of oil pouring out of this motor, so we should probably get that fixed. Well, shoot. It's a rubber gasket that clearly shows an indentation of where it was pushed down by the edge of the valve cover. Aye, man. I just don't know that I see it leaking that much from valve cover spray. I wonder if it's coming from somewhere else. Where else could it be coming from? I don't know where the oil passages are. That was the one that was broken off. And I just got a random bolt I found and stacks of spacers. Look at that. That's been hammering. What the hell has that been hammering on? Wow, that has rolled way the hell over. Is that hammering on the valve cover? Okay, that's from before. That's the back. And that's when that thing was loose. It did that. I remember seeing that before. What could have hammered on this thing so hard to have left it with a burr? Weird. I mean, there's no marks in this valve cover at all. Boy, I don't know if I believe that this thing is putting out enough oil up top for it to blow out the way it was, that it would run down and create oil ridges on stuff. Well, I can still clean it, and I'll silicone it. Wow, I really can't silicone it, can I? Normally you'd silicone it to the valve cover itself and leave it on the block just bare. You could do it the other way around, and then it'd just get damaged by stuff. I think I'll clean it, and I'll pull these washers that I have added out, and that'll cinch it down just slightly more. That was my best guess to get it to match this height here. Well, it's got oil. It's got oil in the steering rack, and it goes through that, but then it leaks out down below, so that's probably why. I haven't seen anything leaking out of the front. Okay. I guess I'll get it cleaned up and put back together. I mean, oil just pours down the side of the block and pools in where the spark plugs are. So, I guess those things could be pushing oil, but not that much. They hit the fan, that'll blow everything backwards, so it could be difficult to figure it out. Okay, it's back together. This gasket, I didn't put any silicone on it. This gasket's good and tight. They're actually now clipped. I know for certain that one wasn't, but they're actually now clipped on. Ooh, that wasn't all the way in either. So I figure we give her a test crank here and find out if we made anything better. It's gonna be loud. Well, I'll put the exhaust on. Let's get a rock in front of these tires. Water coming out of the exhaust pipe. I don't care about that. Definitely running smoother. I bet it was. No, I didn't have the gas turned on. Scared me for a sec. I pulled just these two plugs. They look totally fine. I mean, this stuff all was pretty new. Plugs, cap, rotor points. And I pulled the cap and looked at the rotor, and it's a carbon button cap, and there was a lot of arcing on the rotor, so I scratched that off. I'm gonna let it run for a while, and we'll see if we come across any oil leaks. I don't know what to do about that. I'm assuming that's not supposed to be loose. I mean, I don't even know how to get it apart. How the heck? I guess you'd have to take the head off. Which wouldn't be that bad, right? Because you wouldn't have to set the valves. The valves are still fine. But how the heck am I supposed to get that apart? I could see if the head bolts were loose, but I put a ratchet on these up here and they sure weren't. Gosh, all this wind and a train coming, you guys can't hear anything, I bet. Alright, I'll just try to snug those up, see what they do. Yeah, nothing's loose. At least nothing I can tighten with a wrench and leaning on it. Okay, well, she's become an oily ass mess once again. But I guess that's about it. Not much more I can do. Unless, I mean, those appear to be pressed in tubes as the push rods are going up and down inside them. I don't know. My guess is it's going to leak forever right there. Unless I get a new head. And I ain't getting a new head. Alright, let's take this big, clean, gorgeous girl here and run her up the hill and slam into some of the dirt piles and just get an idea if it's gonna behave. Heck of a day. I got a bunch of seat time. I always do love playing on the equipment, and I think we even got some stuff actually done. I have to bring the transit out to find out how big the hole is and the levels and stuff like that. But I also almost yeeted a whole backhoe off a mountainside. Unsure whether I could have bailed over the big drive tires or not, or whether I would have rode her down. I guess it does have rollover protection. It's got the hoe on it, so it can't go over. But that don't mean I wasn't belted in it, because I was getting on and off it all the time. Always belt in. That's today's rule. Then I brought it down here, fixed whatever was wrong with it. As far as the poppity pop, no power, which I think was just some spark plug wires coming loose and maybe some oil. And then I took it all apart to fix the oil and found out I can't. So, sort of a hit or miss day. I believe I'm going home. Mother-in-law is in town. I assume they're gonna make some fancy food. So I guess that's what I'm off to do. I'm off to eat fancy food. You know what? I think I'll take the motorcycle home. Yeah. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for watching.